I've been speaking to an advisor to the Trump 2020 campaign, Mica Mosbacher, about what Donald Trump was really talking about.
The president's official position, and he has every right to be concerned and angry, is that he wants every vote counted, every legal vote counted, meaning votes, and we're talking about mostly absentee votes at this point, that were submitted on time by registered citizens. He made a statement today, allegations that he did not back up because he's leaving that to his legal team. But in Nevada, for example, it was proven that there were over 3,000 votes that were cast by individuals who are not residents of Nevada. They no longer reside there. In fact, one woman voted stating that it was a deceased relative instead of herself that was voting. So that's one example. And so, yes, there is concern. I believe that although the evidence has not been submitted yet, because the team of lawyers, just like in Florida in 2000 during the Bush versus Gore recounts, our lawyers need time to make their case, and they will make their cases in state courts and in some cases possibly federal courts.
You and I know, let me just interrupt for a second. You and I know, Mica, that there are always disputes about the precise way any individual election is run, but you have state officials in charge of the count, you have political activists from both parties observing the count, and you have judges in the end determining it. None of what you've talked about adds up to stealing the election or illegal voting. It's just the routine disputes that you have in any close election.
Well, no. This election is entirely different because not only have we had record voting for a presidential election, we've had record absentee or mail-in ballot voting. So, for example, you could vote three ways in the United States: absentee ballots, which you could put in a drop-off location, or you could mail through the post office. So there's an issue there because there were 25K plus ballots that showed up in Pennsylvania. And it's not clear when they were time-stamped, because if they're not received on the day of election, they need to be thrown out. I will say this, that both sides of this election in this country are emotionally invested, and it's really for Americans to trust this process and for voters to trust this process, we need a free and transparent process.
What you need in order for voters to trust the process is for the President of the United States not to go on television telling people that votes are being stolen and that votes are illegal. The only reason people don't trust the process is because he's telling them not to.
Well, that hasn't been proven yet. And I think we need the lawyers to come up with the hard evidence, which I feel that they obviously have, and to make their cases in court.
I put it to you that if the Democrats really had got a master plan to steal the election, they might have got round to thinking that they would steal the race for the Senate, which they are not going to win. Why would they plan to steal one election and lose another?
Well, it's the Democratic cities that we're concerned about, Philadelphia, Detroit, that have had election irregularities in the past. Indeed, this past year, a federal election judge in Philadelphia was convicted because he was accepting bribes for fraud and voting fraudulently. So, I mean, I think that there are some examples that raise red flags. I will say that this country right now is on the verge of a political nervous breakdown because we need an outcome. But from President Trump's perspective, you know, there was the Mueller report that cost taxpayers almost $45 million. They found nothing, zero. Then the president was impeached. This president has had to fight every step of the way. He's been checked by the Democrats every step of the way. Indeed, they won't even work with Republicans to pass a stimulus package that we desperately need right now. You know, we've got an unprecedented time. These are uncharted waters that are going on in this country. I think at the end of the day that it's going to be decided in the courts.
Mica Mosbacher, thank you so much for joining us.